would it be, my inky friends out there in the inky world of fountain pens and ink? Amazing, my friends. I'm digging it. I'm feeling it. I'm in the groove. So sit back with me and let's enjoy each other's time and company and see what I have set up today to talk about. I'm going to talk about an old friend, and I've talked about him in the past before. But I'm going to reconnect with him because there's a lot of whole new viewers out there that may be interested, maybe not. But anyway, I'm going to do it anyway. So, I'm going to talk about the Noodlers Ahab. Now, this pen is affordable. And in my opinion, it's a great writer. Can't beat the price. And they come with a flex nib. So, the nib, in my opinion, is a really sweet nib. So, here's the pen. And it's made, the body and the grip is made of resin. So Nathan did a great job. He always does making his pens, in my opinion. I like that whale on the clip, looks like, with Noodlers ink on it. And it has a couple of 3 bands right here at the bottom of the cap. So it's a nice finish that has been added to this blue one. Now, here's what's cool about this pen. This was my first Noodlers fountain pen that I bought after I dipped into the fountain pen world. Now, don't get me wrong, I've used fountain pens in elementary school and junior high and a little bit in high school. Then when I got out, later working different places, I wasn't allowed to use fountain pens, so I had to use a ballpoint pen, but I didn't like ballpoint pens that much because they were too dry. So I used a gel pen. But anyway, this is my first, and I really do love it. So, a number 6 steel flex nib. Again, very affordable. And it's a twist-off cap. It's almost translucent. You can see through the light, through the cap. It's not a really dark blue, but it looks dark when you're looking at it right here. You hold it up to light, you can see the insides of the mechanisms inside, which is cool. And when you go down the barrel, there's not much of a step off. So the grip, it's a nice size grip. Small, medium, large. I tend to hold my pen, I've been noticing, here when I write. And it doesn't bother me whatsoever. And here is this flex nib from Noodlers. Make sure you can zoom that in really good. And look at that. That's a really nice nib. Beautiful. And there's the feed. And let's go ahead and take the barrel off because I'm going to eke it up in a minute. And here is a converter. And right here is like a backup, meaning this part of the converter will hold ink up in there. So you fill up your converter with ink, and then you'll suck some more up into here, and that's kind of like a reserve right here that'll help you get through finishing up some notes or a page or something. So that's pretty cool. So this is a plunger. So let's take the plunger off and talk about the plunger. When you take it off, you don't want to lose that. That you need to use it to fill your pen. Okay, so that you can always take that apart. That'll come off, clean it out, put it back on. But you want to make sure you get it back right there in the middle where the plunger is. Here's the plunger right here. You want to get it right there in the middle in the center and drop that little sucker in, which is no big deal. And voila, it's done. So it's a cool pen. Now, this is a big pen. When you want a lot of ink, you can make this into an eyedropper with some silicone grease. Don't forget, put the silicone grease around it. And you can ink up this baby full of ink. Now remember, when you do that, the flex nib they'll use a high volume of ink when you're flexing. Because when you flex that nib and those times open up, you can be dropping down a whole lot more ink, which I really like about it. But don't forget, take this in consideration, that they're more prone to maybe leaks or some burping with a high amount of ink in the pen. I've never done an eyedropper on a Noodlers because I like to change my inks out too much, so I've never done it. But again, go back to the Plunger. I like that little reservoir right here again that holds that extra ink up in there. So when you get this full of ink, and then this too automatically is going to ink up. So you're going to have this plus this with ink. So when this starts running low, the ink that's in the reservoir will pop in. And then voila, you have enough to finish, hopefully, what you're doing. So, a great pen. So, and this is a large nib that Noodler puts on their Ahab. Now, let's compare this nib to the Noodler's Creeper right here. You can see how small that is. Let's compare them. Giant, right? Now, this nib here is a flex nib, and it's going to do the same as this one. This is just a bigger nib. It's cool though. Just look at that beautiful nib, how big it is compared to the baby nib. So I just wanted to point that out. So I've heard people agree with me that you're going to get that same kind of writing with it, and I've had people that disagree with me. Cool. To each their own. This is mine, so that's what I'm saying. So what I want to do is I want to fill this pen up. But before I do, remember always to flush your pens out. If you're a beginner in fountain pens, you need to learn how to clean your pens out and clean them out thoroughly. So what I usually do, I'll take off the little valve here and that little line that goes right down, a little plastic tube right here, and I use a flusher, not necessarily a pen flush, but I usually just use clear water. But I may use a syringe or a bulb. You'll squeeze the water out, and I shoot it in there really good and flush out that ink. So that's a must. Great cool pen, affordable, and now they come into many different colors as well. So, and you can always change this nib out to a regular Noodler's nib, which I've done before. It just, the friction fit just comes right out, okay? When you hold it here, under the feed, and here on top, use a rubber grip, and just pull straight out. Now sometimes they're in there real tight, and it's hard to get out. So you have to kind of rock it back and forth. And then sometimes there is some very stubborn nibs that just will not come out whatever you do. So you need to get a pair of pliers. They're kind of like well, they're not plastic, but they're not metal. They have rubber tips on the end of the pliers so you won't damage anything. And you're going to put them here, and pull it straight out. So that's pretty helpful. But you have to know how to clean out your pens. So I've inked this up once, and I'll ink it up again. That's why you see it as it is now. But it is cleaned out. Now, if I want to get rid of the stains out of this, how do I do it? I add a little of bleach and water, and of course I take it off, and I'll extend it, and I'll put a little bleach and water in there, and I'll have it standing up. I'll put it on something to hold it up, and I may leave it there overnight and to clean it out real good. But I didn't do it this time because I am going to use this baby again. So what do you say we go ahead and ink this baby up, and let me show you what she can do. So I'm going to give me some of the ink I just got in from Adam the other day. Thank you a lot, Adam. The Ackerman Shocking Blue. Good stuff. So here we go. And down we go. All right. I have enough ink in there to show you. I just fill it to there, and then there's the reservoir. See the ink it has in there? Now I can get the converter totally full, and I can get the reservoir totally full if I choose to, but this is fine. Cleaned it off good. And we'll get it ready to do some writing here. Set this aside. Alrighty here. I am going to go back to my Tumble River paper, my favorite, 52 Gs, and use this up. I'm going to use the bottom of this sheet. So let's look down here. And here we go. Oh, it does post if you wanted to post. The pen looks kind of long, wouldn't you say, Mr. Announcer?
Yes.
So, now this is plenty long right here. Oh, one more thing I need to add. This pen is really a nice size if you have like arthritis in the hands or problems with your hands, pain or something, and you need something that has a bigger, grittier pen so you can hold on to. Well, this is it right here. Decent pen. So let's go here. There you go. This is no pressure whatsoever. And no ink flow issues whatsoever. Nice and wet. And let me show you. Wet still? Wet, baby. This is what I call juicy wet, just like I like my nibs. I wish all of them were that way, but unfortunately they're not. But they're fine. And we'll do some reverse writing. And it's going to be difficult. I wouldn't try it. So I would say no. Now, let's do a downstroke with no pressure at all. Just lightly. There. And a little bit more pressure. And more pressure. Look at that. Side stroke. Across stroke, excuse me. No pressure. A little bit more. So, now we'll do a little bit more pressure to the nib, but you don't have to put a whole lot of pressure. You don't want to do this to the time. Okay? And you see on that downstroke how it opens up. That's really cool. And that is me. Okay. Okay. I'm not on paper. I'm just trying to think what I want to put down. Here we go. And fast. A lot of fun just to tinker around with and play around with it. Is it one of the best pens in the world? No. It's a great fun pen. It's a learning pen. So when you're getting into fountain pens, like I did, or rather got back into fountain pens, I first went with Jinhao. The 159, 750s, 450s, 599As, etc., etc. Now, I was truly scared to change out that nib with the Jinhao. You know, I've seen the videos, I've seen how they're done, but still, inside I was like, so scared that I was going to ruin the nib, or I wouldn't be able to put the nib back in right with the feed just right. Very nervous. Yeah. And so I understand where newbies get that fear from. So, you know what? I said it's time to go for it. So, got me a grip, and I got that nib out. Simple. And then I put the nib in the feed. I had to line everything up. And at first I couldn't do it, you know, correctly. It was off. The feed was off center, or it wouldn't go in right, or not far enough, or too far. But it didn't take me but a few minutes to figure it out, and it was good to go. So great fountain pen to work with, to learn, to enjoy, and very, very, very affordable. So you might want to check out Pen Chalet, Ghost Spot Pens, a great starter pen. So from the Jinhao, I went to the Noodlers. And I did the Ahabs for a while. Then I went to the Conrads for a while. Then I jumped to the music nib, which I love. I really, really do like the music nib. And then I reversed it and went for the Creeper. Why did it take me so long for the Creeper? Because this is a more slender pen, as you can see right here. Smaller, slender. But what's cool about it, it does have a nice flex nib on it. It does have an ink window as well. Let's open it up and show the insides of it. Right here on top. Right there. That's how you fill your pen. Piston filler right here. Bam. I don't know if you can see that going down right in there. And that's how you fill it. So that is pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. And again, affordable. A really neat, fun pen. So there you have it. Noodlers Ahab with a flex nib. Affordable. It's a great learning pen. is something that, you know, if you accidentally mess up on the nibs or spring the times or whatever you're going to do to it to destroy it, you can always get another one. They're affordable. But try not to destroy it. Learn. You're new in the pins. Learn. Now, I've heard both sides on comments. I wouldn't recommend this, they said, to a newbie coming out. Too difficult. I can see where that's going from. But then, you have to learn somewhere. I mean, I just wouldn't jump into this pen as a newbie to start with. I would start with, like I said, I started with the Gen Hab, but you can start with what you want with. And then after you learn those pens, how they function, how they write, how they feel to your hand, and how you fill them up with ink, how you flush them out and clean them, then I would recommend you try one of these. Now also, I have a soft toothbrush. After I clean my pen, I always like to clean the feed gently with the soft toothbrush, just in case it's got any crud in it, to get that cleaned out. That's what I do. And a lot of times where I see it, I have ink that hangs up right back behind the feed, between the feed and the nib. There's ink back in there, so I try to get that ink out. It may take a little longer, but it can be done. So there you have it, the Noodlers Ahab. And I think I have about, I don't know how many more. I really do like the pen. I have the clear one that I bought as well. And I'm not really much into the clear ones. A lot of people are, because I like to see the ink inside. And you can see all the mechanism, how it works inside. And this one, I believe, check the nib out on this one real quick. This one also has, no, this one has a regular Noodlers nib on it. It's not a flex nib. Got a yellow one here. And this has a flex nib. And I've got quite a few more, but I do not want to bore you and take up your time. So, my friends, that's going to wrap it up today. So, I want to thank everybody for joining me today on Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews. And I'm hoping everybody has been safe and doing all they can to take care of themselves and your friends. So, be safe. Wash your hands. And as always, my friend, don't text and drive. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.